Hi everyone and welcome back to the Legal Diaries. Today's video is going to be on a topic that I get asked about quite frequently, and that is networking. Usually the most asked question is, how do I go about networking? But I recently wrote an article for The Guardian on 4 ways that law students can make contacts in the legal industry. And I always feel like this is a good place to start before we actually talk about how you can network. I think it's best to kind of identify where we can find the networking opportunities. So in this video, I'm going to be expanding on my article and just kind of giving you a bit more information on the key places that I found has helped me to make legal contact. Networking is super important in law. It doesn't matter whether you're at the start trying to find a legal training contract or whether you're a qualified lawyer, you're going to need the skill of networking, so it's better to learn it early on. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. When I was starting off in law, I had no contacts whatsoever, and everyone I spoke to knew somebody who knew somebody that was a lawyer, and I really started to doubt my own abilities because of it. And I thought, okay, I know that I need to get a 2-1 or above, but I knew that knowing somebody in law would only benefit me. So let's get into the bits that everybody wants to know. Where can you find networking opportunities? Now, the first place that I would recommend that you look for networking opportunities is the Junior Lawyers Division. They're a branch of the Law Society, and they're basically a community that represents everyone from students to trainees, solicitors to qualified solicitors, and the list goes on, and everyone in between, so like legal assistants and paralegals as well. And they have an array of events every single year. Simple as going on their website and literally just finding the place that says events. I think they've got a page dedicated to it, and just looking through. It's as easy as that. You don't even need to be a member to attend the events. I think some of the events may cost some money, but you know, it's not that much in the grand scheme of things. The most important event that I would say that they host, well, not the most important, but the most important for the purposes of this video in terms of networking opportunities, is their annual ball. That's attended by some really key players in law, and on top of that, it is just a good night out. The Junior Lawyers Division is really good for aspiring solicitors because you can start building connections immediately. Not only do they have a group that represents England and Wales, this is then divided into subgroups like London, Leicester, Manchester, etc. And then they divide it into boroughs as well. So it's so easy to build networks straight away. Now, the second is one that I didn't really have when I was at university, but there are so many of them around, and it is joining a diversity organisation. There are so many off the top of my head that I can think of, ranging from aspiring solicitors, SEO London, Rare, Urban Lawyers, Power Up, the list literally goes on. Join one of those organisations that have a real dedicated focus to helping people get into their chosen industries. I think all of them that I've mentioned have a real focus on law, so it's definitely worth signing up. All of them are free, and all of them have events as well that you can attend during the year. So each of these diversity organisations that I've just mentioned may differ slightly in who they aim to assist. However, they all host free events face-to-face, and they all partner up with different law firms. So more likely than not, if you sign up to one of those diversity organisations and you attend one of those events, guess what? You're going to a law firm and you're bound to meet lawyers. Now, the next one is one of my personal favourites because it's really where I made so many of my key contacts in law, and it's Twitter. Twitter has a great legal community. It's not that big, and it's I would say it's hard to find them, but it's not. You just need to know where to look on Twitter. So if you start following key organisations like the Junior Lawyers Division on Twitter, or like Law Careers on Twitter, you can start to see the sort of people that they retweet. You can follow them, and it's just an organic process. But Twitter is really one of those key places that you can just meet lawyers, and even if you're just following them and seeing what they're interested in and what they tweet and maybe the events that they go to. So for instance, if there's a cool legal event that I know that's on, I would usually tweet about it. So if you're following me on Twitter, and this is not a shameless plug, but so many other people do it as well, they tweet in the same style as me. If you're following me or somebody else on Twitter, you may find out about an event that I've attended or an event that I'm going to attend that's law related, and you can have a look, and then you can sign up and you can show up and say, hey, I know you from Twitter. And finally, you know how I mentioned in the beginning that somebody always knows somebody that's a lawyer? That's the answer. Like, if you know somebody that knows somebody else, ask them, can they put you in contact with that lawyer? Ask them, could they set up a meeting? Ask them, do they know anybody that's in law? I think key, and what most people do miss out on, is the opportunities that are right in front of them. So start asking your immediate networks, do they know anybody that's a lawyer? Do they know anybody that's working in a law firm? Do they know anybody that can assist you in law? Or do they know anybody that knows anybody that's in law? You have to be relentless, but the opportunities are actually out there, and once you start going to one networking event, you'll be able to go to so many others. So those are my tips. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you in my next video. Bye.